A major winter storm moved across the country in January 2025. It was a storm that people will talk about for a long time. It brought historic snow and extreme cold to places that rarely see such weather. The Gulf Coast, known for its warm and sunny climate, was hit especially hard. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida saw snow totals that broke records stretching back more than 130 years. This event was not just a snowstorm. It was the first recorded blizzard to ever strike the Gulf Coast region. For millions, it was a shocking and dangerous event that turned their world white. The storm unfolded between January 20th and January 22nd, 2025. It arrived with a calm but urgent warning from forecasters. A powerful weather system was brewing. It would bring a dangerous mix of heavy snow, strong winds, and frigid temperatures. More than 62 million Americans were placed under threat from this major winter storm. The warnings were clear, but the reality was still hard to believe for many. The sheer amount of snow that fell in such a short time was something most residents in the South had only ever seen in movies or on the news from faraway places. This historic event was caused by a rare combination of weather factors. A massive surge of Arctic air plunged far south. This is often called an Arctic outbreak. This bitterly cold air mass traveled all the way down to the warm, moist waters of the Gulf of Mexico. When the extreme cold met the abundant moisture, it created the perfect recipe for a massive snowstorm. The result was a winter event that shattered records. Some of these records had stood since a legendary snowstorm in 1895. This storm showed everyone that extreme weather can happen anywhere, at any time. The impact was immediate and widespread. The snowfall totals from this storm were truly staggering for the Gulf Coast. Hundreds of weather stations across the South, across the Southeast, reported new records. In many coastal areas, snow accumulations ranged from 6 to 12 inches. Numbers like that would be significant in northern states, but almost unheard of along the Gulf. Locations in Louisiana, locations in Florida recorded their largest single-day snowfall in state history. This storm rewrote the weather record books for the region. New Orleans, Louisiana, was one of the hardest-hit areas. The city officially measured 8 inches at its main airport, the largest single snowfall in the city's recorded history. It surpassed the previous half-foot record from the Great Storm of 1895. Streets in the French Quarter were covered in white. The iconic streetcars stopped running. The sight was beautiful and alarming for residents. Just to the east, Mobile, Alabama, also saw historic snowfall. Mobile Regional Airport set a 2-day record with 7.5 inches. That broke the old 6-inch record from 1895. For many in Mobile, it was the most snow they'd ever seen. Heavy wet snow clung to surfaces, weighing down branches and power lines. The city, used to hurricanes, had to adapt quickly. The story repeated all along the coast. This was the most significant winter storm in over a century. Communities in Mississippi reported deep snow too. The storm's power was felt from Texas all the way to Florida. It was a slow-moving system, dropping immense amounts of snow over the same areas. That prolonged snowfall created dangerous conditions for millions unprepared for a major winter storm. Record snowfall blanketed the Gulf Coast. The state of Florida, the Sunshine State, was not spared from this historic winter blast. The storm likely shattered the state's all-time snowfall record. Northwest corner of the state, north of Pensacola. The town of Molino reported a stunning 9.5 inches of snow. Trained weather spotters were shocked by what they were seeing. Nearby, in Milton, a retired National Weather Service employee measured 8.8 inches in his backyard. As the storm continued, totals in Milton climbed even higher. By late on January 21st, the official measurement in Milton reached an astonishing 10 inches of snowfall. That was more than double the previous single-storm record. For perspective, Florida's previous record was just a few inches. This was not a minor dusting. It was a full-blown winter event. Deep snow blanketed Florida's sandy soil. Deep snow covered pine forests. A winter wonderland in a place where winter usually just means slightly cooler temperatures. The impact on this part of Florida was immense. This region is not built for snow. Very few snowplows. Most people don't own snow shovels. Most don't have winter tires. Roads quickly became treacherous and were closed by authorities. Power outages became a major concern as heavy, wet, snow-strained power lines and tree limbs. Many residents had never driven in snow before, let alone this much of it. Officials urged everyone to stay home and off the roads to ensure their safety and allow emergency crews to work. For the people of Northwest Florida, this storm was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Children who had never seen snow before were able to build snowmen in their yards. At the same time, their parents worried about staying warm if the power went out. The storm created wonder. The storm created anxiety. It served as a powerful lesson that even the warmest places are not immune to extreme weather. The Great Blizzard of January 2025 will forever be a part of Florida's history, a story to be told for many years. So, why did this happen? How could a storm of this magnitude strike a region known for its warmth? The answer lies in a simple but powerful combination of weather ingredients. The main driver was an exceptionally strong mass of Arctic air. This is a huge dome of incredibly cold, dense air that originates near the North Pole. Usually this cold air stays locked up in the far north. But in January 2025, the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high in the atmosphere, buckled. This allowed a massive lobe of Arctic air to plunge deep into the United States. This was not just a minor cold front. It was a full-blown Arctic outbreak that brought record-breaking cold to the central part of the country. This frigid air mass spilled south across the plains and into the lower Mississippi Valley. Temperatures plummeted to levels that were 20 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit, below average for that time of year. This created the first critical ingredient for the storm, a deep layer of air that was well below freezing, all the way down to the ground. Without this intense cold, any precipitation would have fallen as rain. The second key ingredient was moisture. As the bitterly cold air moved south, it encountered the warm, moist air that is almost always present over the Gulf of Mexico. This is where the storm system itself formed. A low-pressure system developed, drawing in huge amounts of moisture from the Gulf. When this abundant, humid air was lifted up and over the dense, freezing Arctic air, the magic happened. The water vapor cooled rapidly and condensed, forming clouds and precipitation. But because the air was so cold, it fell as snow instead of rain. This process, where warm, moist air overrides cold, dry air, is what fuels many winter storms. What made this one so historic was the extremity of both ingredients. The Arctic air was unusually cold and pushed unusually far south. At the same time, the storm system was perfectly positioned to tap into a rich supply of Gulf moisture. This created a highly efficient snowmaking machine right over the Gulf Coast. It was the perfect storm, a rare alignment of atmospheric conditions that resulted in a blizzard for the history books. This historic event was about more than just the impressive snowfall totals. The storm also brought powerful winds. In many areas affected by the heaviest snow, winds gusted up to 40 miles per hour. This combination of falling snow and strong winds created true blizzard conditions. A blizzard is officially defined by reduced visibility of less than a quarter mile for at least 3 hours, along with sustained strong winds. These conditions make travel nearly impossible and incredibly dangerous. The blowing snow, the drifting snow, reduced visibility to near zero in some places, The blizzard conditions were a major factor in the storm's impact. They turned simple driving into a life-threatening risk. The high winds also created significant snowdrifts, burying cars and blocking doorways. Furthermore, the combination of heavy wet snow and strong winds put immense stress on the region's infrastructure. Tree branches, heavy with snow, were snapped by the wind. This led to widespread power outages as branches fell onto power lines. For thousands of people, this meant losing their heat in the middle of a record-breaking cold spell, creating a very dangerous situation. The cold air associated with this storm was vast and affected a huge portion of the country. The Arctic air eventually reached more than 250 million people across 40 states. Temperatures plunged as much as 30 degrees below normal for the entire eastern two-thirds of the United States. Cities far from the Gulf Coast also felt the deep freeze. Kansas City recorded a new daily record low temperature. Memphis, Tennessee recorded a new daily record low temperature. In San Antonio, Texas, the temperature dropped to a record low of 21 degrees Fahrenheit. December 2024 had been unusually warm. February 2025 had been unusually warm. But this single cold snap in January was impactful enough to make it the coldest January in North America in at least 10 years. In some parts of the plains, the cold was extreme, with temperatures dropping to a bone-chilling minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit in some rural areas. This widespread, dangerous cold meant that the storm's effects were felt far beyond the areas that saw snow. It was a complex and far-reaching weather event that brought multiple threats to millions of people across the continent. When a storm like this is in the forecast, The most important thing you can do is, prepare your home and your family. Your first priority should be to ensure you can stay warm, even if the power goes out. Gather extra blankets, sleeping bags, warm clothing for every member of your household. If you have a safe alternative heating source, generator, properly ventilated fireplace, make sure it is in working order and you have fuel. Never use a gas stove, oven, charcoal grill to heat your home, as they can produce deadly carbon monoxide gas. Next, you need to protect your home from the cold itself. The biggest risk is often frozen pipes, which can burst and cause major water damage. To prevent this, let your faucets drip slowly with cold water. This keeps water moving and helps prevent freezing. Open the cabinet doors under your sinks to allow warmer air to circulate around the plumbing. It is also a good idea to know where your main water shutoff valve is located, just in case a pipe does burst. Pay close attention to your family's needs, especially the most vulnerable. The elderly, young children, those with chronic health conditions are more susceptible to the dangers of extreme cold. Check on them frequently. Ensure they are staying warm and have everything they need. It is also crucial to remember your pets. Bring all pets indoors. They can suffer from frostbite and hypothermia just like people. Make sure they have a warm place to sleep and access to unfrozen water. Never leave a pet outside for long periods in freezing weather. Finally, stay informed. Your first and best source of information is your local National Weather Service office. They provide the most accurate and up-to-date warnings and forecasts. You should also listen to local news on the radio or television. Have a battery-powered radio on hand in case the power goes out. Follow official emergency management agencies on social media for quick updates. Having reliable information will help you make the best decisions to keep your family safe before, during, and after the storm. Every household should have a basic emergency preparedness kit. This kit can be a lifesaver during a power outage or if you are unable to leave your home for several days. The most important items are food and water. You should have at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food that does not require cooking or refrigeration. Canned goods, dried fruit, protein bars. Also, store at least 1 gallon of water per person, per day for both drinking and basic sanitation. Your kit should also include essential supplies for light and communication. Have several flashlights with extra batteries. Avoid using candles, as they are a fire hazard. A battery-powered or hand-crank radio is also a must-have. It will allow you to listen to weather updates and emergency instructions if the power and internet are out. Keep a portable power bank charged so you can recharge your cell phone, your lifeline to call for help or contact family members. Do not forget about medical needs. Make sure you have a well-stocked first aid kit, bandages, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, and other basics. If anyone in your family relies on prescription medications, make sure you have at least a week's supply on hand. It may be difficult to get to a pharmacy during a major storm. Keep a list of your medications and dosages in your kit as well, just in case you need to share that information with emergency responders. Finally, think about a few items specific to a winter storm. Rock salt and pet-safe ice melt to treat walkways and steps. Keep a snow shovel handy. It is also a good idea to create a car emergency kit, an ice scraper, a small shovel, sand or cat litter for traction if you get stuck. Also, pack extra blankets, warm clothes, water, and snacks in your car. If you must travel, this kit could be essential if you become stranded. During a major winter storm, the safest place to be is at home. Officials will almost always advise against unnecessary travel. Roads can become extremely slick with ice and with snow, making driving very dangerous, especially for those who are not used to it. Visibility can drop to 0 in a blizzard, making it easy to lose control of your vehicle or get lost. If you do not absolutely have to be on the road, please stay put. This not only protects you, but it also keeps the roads clear for snowplows and emergency vehicles. If you must travel, take every precaution. Make sure your vehicle is prepared for winter conditions. Check your tires, battery, fluid levels. Fill up your gas tank before the storm arrives. Let someone know your route and your estimated arrival time. Drive slowly and leave much more distance than usual between your car and the one in front of you. If you get stuck in the snow, stay with your vehicle. It provides temporary shelter. Run the engine for about 10 minutes every hour to stay warm, but make sure the exhaust pipe is clear of snow to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. One of the most important things we can do during a storm is to check on our neighbors, especially the elderly, people who live alone, or families with young children. A simple phone call or a quick safe walk next door can make a huge difference. See if they need anything, or if they have heat and power. Community is one of our strongest assets in an emergency. Looking out for one another helps ensure that everyone gets through the event safely. This simple act of kindness can save a life. After the storm passes, the dangers are not over. Be careful when shoveling snow. It is strenuous work and can cause heart attacks for those who are not physically fit. Push the snow rather than lifting it, and take frequent breaks. Also, be aware of melting snow that can refreeze at night, creating black ice on roads and sidewalks. Continue to listen to local officials for updates on road conditions and other post-storm information. Recovery takes time, and it is important to remain patient and cautious. Looking out for each other gets us safely to the other side. The historic Gulf Coast blizzard of January 2025 was a powerful wake-up call. It proved that unprecedented weather can and does happen. We saw record snowfall in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. We saw Florida's all-time snow record shattered. And we saw a dangerous Arctic outbreak bring freezing temperatures to a vast portion of our country. This event caused major disruptions, power outages, closed highways. It put millions of people at risk. It showed us that we must be ready for anything, no matter where we live or what the climate is normally like. Now is the time to take action. Do not wait for the next storm to be in the forecast. Use the quiet time now to prepare. The most important message is to be proactive, not reactive. Make a family emergency plan. Talk with your loved ones about what you will do if you lose power or if you need to evacuate. Discuss how you will communicate if you are separated. Knowing what to do ahead of time reduces fear and helps everyone make smarter decisions when a crisis is happening. A little bit of planning goes a very long way. Build your emergency kit today. Go through the list of essential items: non-perishable food, water, flashlights, batteries, a radio, and a first aid kit. Gather these supplies and put them in a place that is easy to access. Make sure everyone in your family knows where the kit is. Prepare your home by learning how to protect your pipes from freezing. These simple concrete steps are the foundation of personal preparedness. They can make the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major emergency for your family. Stay calm and stay informed. When you hear that a storm is coming, turn to reliable sources for information. Your local National Weather Service office, emergency management agencies, and trusted local news outlets are your best guides. Follow their instructions and take their warnings seriously. The blizzard of 2025 was a rare event, but extreme weather is not. By taking calm, steady, and early action, you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Be ready, stay safe,